welcome back to a J-Love video. Today I'm here with my awesome, amazing friend Pablo, and today we're gonna have Pablo share his story with us. And so, Pablo, take it over.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Well, I guess I'll capitalize a little bit more on my introduction. Pablo Lopez. I'm on my way to 45 in a couple months, and be a fine age. But I don't really know what that's supposed to feel like because I'm not there yet. And at 44, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to feel like. But it feels pretty good so far. Moved out here to the 5 cities on the Central Coast a little over a year ago. My wife of since January 2018. Don't ask me how long that is. I'm not doing the math. And since we've had 2 wonderful sons, Paul, who just turned 3, and Zephyr, who is at 6 months right now. Originally from San Jose, California. Grew up in the Bay Area. Lived all over it. Lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a while. Came back to California, and I think that'll kind of lay out in the middle of my testimony, which I guess I'll just hop right into because everything else would just kind of fall right in. I think anywho, I guess it all starts a long time ago, but in 1991 I was 11, and my walk to salvation really started around my father, and it wasn't like he walked into faith and everything was great, which actually it was, but it centered around my dad, but my mom was the one that started going to a new church. I grew up in going to Catholic church, did my catechism, all the things that a Hispanic family would do in a traditional Catholic realm, and that's really all it was. There wasn't much to it. That's just what we did, and it seems that that's still the case. But my dad got sick, and at the time we didn't really know what was going on, and that was about 9 years old. And anyways, at 11 I was 11, and my dad was I can't remember, but anyways, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, which was a result of years of alcohol abuse. And he was one of the youngest of 9 siblings, growing up in Santa Maria, which is where my parents grew up and met, and really affected him and affected the family. Eventually, my mom decided that it was time to go to a different church. My sisters and I followed in suit, as my dad did. And at that point, the family started to change, going to a Christian church. We eventually met salvation, and that was a huge deal. But at 11 years old, taking on that relationship with Christ, I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I took salvation, but that was pretty much it. Then I went to school and hung out with my friends, and everything was pretty worldly at that. Although the family changed, our foundation was incredible with Jesus involved. My dad went sober. Everything changed, and it was all because the grace of God and Jesus being in our lives. Before that, it was just, it wasn't much to talk about. But I went on school, just kind of did the normal things that a teenager would do. Hung out with my friends, got into trouble, and I wasn't bad, but trouble's trouble.
Yeah.
And eventually, fast forward to age 23, in 2003 October, my dad passed away, and after years of going on with cirrhosis of the liver, to which once he was diagnosed, at that point he only had 10% of his liver.
Yeah.
So he lived his last dozen years with only 10% of liver, and the doctors were like, Paul, how are you doing this? You should have been gone, within 2 or 3 years after diagnosed. But he, because of Jesus being in our family, he'd really attributed his continued being to Jesus, to God.
Yeah.
And for that last decade or so, I can say that I witnessed a miracle in seeing my father continue on. And if he wasn't around for those formidable years for me as a teenager, well, I don't know what I would become. And I'm glad that I didn't have to see that. I love my dad. He's incredible, and I learned so much from him. Before he passed, he asked me that if he was a good dad, and yeah, definitely. To which it was met with some puzzlement. Like, really? It's like, well, I got to see bad, I got to see good, I got to see change, transformation, and that's what happens when we're in His grace. Is that when we allow Him in to our hearts, we change for great. We have to allow that to happen. And I didn't really, I don't want to say I didn't allow that to happen for myself at an early age. I was just taken by all the things of the world and the things that my friends were into and that I was into. Having a girlfriend and exploring and all those things that a fleshly kid would be doing. And that's just the reality of it. But when he did pass, I didn't really know what to do. I just knew that he wasn't here. My dad was gone. But I went back to the Bay Area. Tie in real quick that at age 19 in 1999, my family left San Jose, California, and moved to Clovis, right outside of Fresno. And for my parents, that was a big deal because it became unaffordable to live in the Bay Area, and we can sell the house and get a brand new one in Clovis. And my sisters and I weren't really big fans because all our friends were in San Jose. Well, I went back, and at the time I had become working in minor, and it was the start of my baseball career. I was not a player. I played since I was a little kid at age 5 and had aspirations to become a professional major leaguer, which most kids would and should aspire to. But eventually that fizzled out, and I became involved in baseball in another capacity, and that was as a service guy to the players. I was a clubhouse manager, a bat boy. I worked in various clubhouse capacities in different levels of professional baseball. 21 years total. 16 of them I spent with the San Francisco Giants, which I grew up watching, and I still represent because I've found my way to being a fan again after being so jaded and sour about it all in my latter years involved in it. I don't want to spend too much time on that. I want to expand on His grace and just really focus in on the greatness that God is. I can go on and on about baseball stories and the things that I did, and they make for some funny stories, and interesting ones. I could do a book series on them, but while it might capture the attention of many, and it would, it'd just be too much glorification of things of the world, and I don't want to do that. But I kind of feel like I'm going off, I'm steering off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just so many details.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I came back around. I was in a number of relationships with different girls. I dated, enough to come to a point where it was enough, and I was tired of the whole banging the same drum, just the same song over and over again, and it got old. My first girlfriend, ended in a bad way, and then within a year I hopped into another relationship that got really serious, to where I married that girl, and I was 27, and we had only been seeing each other for 8.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so that happened really fast, and that lasted for 4 years. But that's gone. I think at the time I was really sad about the end of both relationships, but God was doing something for me and keeping me out of things, even though I was wanting these things, which is common ground. We want so many things that God doesn't want for us. And he has a plan already, and it's set, and we make all these plans for ourselves, and in a humorous light, God probably laughs at them and chuckles like, Pablo, no, that's not what I got for you, man. And I tried so many times to make these plans happen for myself, and they always led to disappointment and despair, brokenheartedness, and just a crumbling, sad case. And finally, coming back to California in 2012, after my first marriage ended, I was happy to get back.
Yeah.
I got to be around my family and be in a place that I once upon a time did not want to be a part of, Fresno, and this time coming back in, and I was excited to be there. And it was great for me. I had a great 3 years, 2012, 13, and 14, as an employee of the Giants, assigned to AAA Fresno, and I had a great time. I had one of my best friends as my assistant, and it was a great time. I definitely recollected myself and my interests, things that I gave up when I moved to Arizona, and upon return, got to really assert myself for who I am, but I was still in the flesh. I wasn't regularly attending church. I wasn't active in my faith, but I still had my foundation, that foundation that was stepped upon at age 11. I still had, but I never really embraced. I just had my roots, just a little bit into that ground, and I remained in it. But again, my roots were, if I had one root in my faith, I had a whole ton of other roots in the world. Which there's so many occasions that I felt that God had his hands on, and that it was divine, that certain things didn't happen when I wanted these things to happen. And I was like, what's going on here? But as I sit here now, and I'm so much further along into my faith, and I have this active relationship, I can see it all, that those things that didn't happen, he was saving me from. He kept anything that shouldn't have happened. They didn't happen because of him, even though I wanted them. And I'm so thankful that that I didn't get to have those things, despite my worldly, fleshly desires. Anyways, I was talking about my own plans, and I had a 5-year plan that I never had one before. Kind of started in when I came back around in 2012 to Fresno, and I made this 5-year plan of being someplace that I wanted to be in this span of time. Well, that didn't happen. and instead, that plan of mine was not his. And long story short, I got sent to a place that I didn't want to be. I was mad. I was disgruntled. What? Why? What's going on now? And at that point, that was January, early part of 2015, and everything that I had developed in Fresno, suddenly I was uprooted against my will and sent up, reassigned by the Giants up to Sacramento, which I already had a bad taste in my mouth about the place because I rear-ended a minivan when I was 25 on the infamous Yellow Tower Bridge, which actually I really like now. Back then I didn't like it. But great things happened in Sacramento, even though I didn't want to be there. 2015 was one of my worst professional years in baseball, and it was just odds were against me. But I met my wife on opening night there, and again, at this point, I didn't want anything to do with dating. I was not in the mindset. I was not there. I was tired of the same old drum, the same thing, you know, and I just didn't want that anymore. I wanted something fruitful. I wanted something great, to be with somebody that I could share experience with and really have that, you know, person, and not just a thing, I guess. But anyways, so you guys know Brittany, my wonderful wife, sweetest thing that there could possibly be. And I met her opening night, and even though I wasn't in the mindset, something clicked. I saw something, and I gotta know that I need to spend time with this. You know, I need to. Here I am in a place that I don't want to be, and all of a sudden I have this amazing interest, and of course it's a girl. You know, you know, here I am again, and but there was something different this time, and I truly believe that God sent me to Sacramento against my desires because I wanted something else. And I just said, you know what do you got? All right, fine, here I am. You know, show me what you got. And I got her, and it wasn't like that was the immediate, you know, change there. That was the start of things. It was, you know, we dated and it was great. My last 3 years in baseball happened, and I started seeing the winds of change were blowing, and as I approached year 21 in professional baseball, I knew something was going to change, and I didn't know what, but all I knew was that I was getting married. And that was great, but that was January 2018. But a year prior, I was met with a challenge that Brittany didn't purposely impose on me, for me to rededicate myself to Christ. Because when I met her, she was looking for a man of Christ. She didn't want to, you know, spin her wheels with some dude. You know, she wanted something fruitful as well, and I met her there, and I said, yeah, I am a believer. I am a man of Christ, but I was still locked into this clubhouse world where, loose, just locker room talk, and otherwise being in a frat and it just being of worldly things. And when I was with her, yeah, I am this man of Christ, but I didn't speak, I didn't act the way that a man of Christ is supposed to. And she finally pretty much had enough, and didn't purposely challenge me for her benefit. It was for me, and she needed to step away. And because I had my heart broken a number of times and had lost so many times, I know how to lose. And you really got to, to really be a winner, you have to know how to lose, and you got to be okay with losing. And it's tough when you grow up winning and that's all you really know. When you lose, like that's earth shattering for some, and they don't know. Some people don't know how to handle themselves. But when the skies are dark and there's trial, I'm not bothered by that anymore. Because I've broken through so many times. I've been delivered from those losses. It's not a big deal. I have Jesus, and with him, we get through the losses, because when we do win, man, they're incredible. And when you get to that point in faith, especially, you want to involve others to be a part of these winnings, this great favor that we have with Christ, and that's where we go out and become the church and bring others into this great relationship, this wonderful fruit. I'll want to be just like these trees. This is pretty rich soil. It's there's moisture in it, and that's life, and the roots, they grow strong in it, and the trees grow big, and I think that's one of the reasons why I like trees. I was just saying when we got here, I like trees. And so anyways, I want to go all nature boy. I was just in the up in the Sierras at like 9,000 feet recently, and there's a ton of tall, magnificent trees, firmly planted by rivers. And anyways, so Brittany left, and I was shook. I did not want to lose this wonderful gift that God gave me. And I spent time in solitude and scared. What did I do? What have I done? I spoke, locker room talk to an angel, and that's not it. So I called up, I phoned a friend, and he advised me to read the book of James, and told me to focus in on particular scripture in there. And anyways, it's a 5-chapter book, short one, so strong and convicting. James had me against the ropes. Taking blows, man.
Come on.
Yeah, taking blows. And I still remember, being in my house by myself, being met with this trial, with this new time of reckoning. Being saved at age 11, it was great. It was the start of things, and here I am at age 37, all these years and all these experiences and whatnot, and all of a sudden it's big in front of my face. It's time to make a change.
Come on.
Time to dedicate myself ultimately.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it was time.
Yeah.
And so James had me against the ropes, taking blows, and it spoke so loud to me, man. Spent some time in the Word that week, and a lot of solitude, reflection, and where I fell down in Woodward Park in Fresno. I went out for a bike ride. It was kind of a day like this in early January, where this is coastal fog. Over there, it's not coastal. It's Tule fog, really thick, and really reminiscent of the fog that came into San Francisco when my dad passed that night.
Yeah.
And after he left, the fog disappeared.
Wow.
And anyways, into that fog again, in that park, where I just dropped my bike and fell to my knees and said, "You got me.
Come on.
You got me now. Here I am. I'm done.
Come on.
It's not about me anymore."
Yeah.
And so off I went with Christ, back in the fold with Jesus and with God, and I came back and got myself all charged up and called up Brittany and said, we gotta get together, we gotta talk,
Come on.
and I got I ordered a ring for her. It was a promise ring. It was a real promise ring, to show her that I was for real.
Oh,
and anyways, she's like, "What is this?" Like, I was only away for like a week, but I didn't want that to be an extended a separation, or to be a breakup. So she was delighted, and again, she didn't step away for this to happen.
Yeah.
This was a one-on-one between me and God.
Absolutely.
And she was delighted. So, fast forward a year later, we got married. That friend who advised me to go read James, very good friend, Terry Douglas. Shout out Terry. I will send you this video. And mad props there to you, buddy. And he's awesome. Yeah, awesome guy. Awesome guy. But anyways, married Brittany and I, and 2018 was the start of something new, because that 2017 season was my last one in baseball.
Yeah. Okay.
And I could have caught on with another ball club and kept it going.
Yeah.
But I was done. I didn't want to start this relationship, this marriage, in that realm. And through faith with Jesus, I began a new career, now in California State Parks. From 2018, I started from the ground. My pay scale with the Giants was way up here, and all of a sudden I'm in newlywed and my pay scale is way down here. Yeah. And shell shock, just what do I do? Just married a wonderful being, and I don't even have a job right now. What's happening here? But California State Parks called me on. I was a seasonal park aide, sitting in a box for 8 hours a day, wondering what's going on here. What am I doing? But God had a plan, and I feel through this new career, getting to be outside and promoting quickly to my capacity now, my family, it being a reason that we moved out here from Fresno, and now I'm sitting here with this guy talking about, talking about my life, making me cry, what's going on here. But this is
Lord.
this is his purpose. This is all him. His fingerprints were all over this move. I felt the Spirit in that interview room, and something happened in there, and just answering his calls all around. Once we fully submit and give our hearts to him, man, it's incredible. I want everybody to be a part of it, to have that experience. This isn't about us. Now as a father and a married man, I try to be that guy to lead my bride, my sons, keeping Christ the center of it. And I have my own battles. It's tough. Being a father, having a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, it's tough, man. But it truly is a joy, and I'm so happy that I have such a wonderful wife to be a tag team member with, and take on these boys who are going to become incredible, strong men of faith, and I will do everything in my power to see them off in that direction. I guess that's really where I am now. Here in the 5 cities, who knows what God has planned next. I'm not even making plans anymore. We're here. People ask you oh, what do you want to do now? You want to promote? And yeah, sure. Promotion's inevitable, but it's going to happen on His time. I'll go into every day, give my best, and I tell everybody around that you're every day you're interviewing for your next promotion. So give it your best. And that goes in general.
Totally.
But I don't know what He has in store, but I know it's going to be great. And if the promotion happens here, or if it happens somewhere else in California, or I don't know, wherever He wants me, that's where I'm going to go. And He wanted us here. And so we came, and now I'm here, sitting next to this guy. I guess it's going great.
We'll become the best friend. Pablo J Love.
Yeah. If there's any meet in the middle, it's with these respective SFs on our hats. That's really where it ends. Because Otherwise, now, J Love, you're a great dude.
Thank
I love you, man. I'm glad that we met. And now we do church together, and life. We've got so many awesome people around us since we've been here, and I guess you're one of them.
Wow. No.
Oh no. Anywho, yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah. Pablo, before we close this video out, I know we said a lot, but will you encourage the people watching it? Do you have any encouragement you want to bless those people that are watching this video right now?
I went all over the place with my story. I do have that is my testimony in a really big nutshell. There is a scaled down version that lasts about 5 to 7 minutes that I've delivered before, but sometimes when you sit down and you allow Him, capital H, to lead you and move you, there is something that I said, some things that I said that I hope reaches this audience, and there's the encouragement. May my story be a light to at least one person that views this. And to that one person, or many, just let him do what he needs to do with you. Allow him to move you. Listen, seek that burning bush and listen to what he has to say to you.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you again, Pablo.
Yeah.
You're an amazing man.
Thanks.
Man of God. Love this guy. If you ever see this guy, you gotta say hi to him. He's funny. He's also a funny guy. He's also an amazing father, an amazing husband. But anyway, till next time, you guys. J Love is out. So me and Pablo are going bye bye. Bye.